The air was thick with the salty scent of the ocean as we arrived at what we soon nicknamed the Murder Death Cabin. It seemed funny at first. However, our initial excitement waned as we surveyed the steep stairs leading to the cabin. After a moment of fear and worry, we felt relieved as we descended safely. It was 5 of us, 5 close friends in our early 20s, looking to party and vacay during our break. But it wasn't looking like much of a party at our rented digs at the moment. My boyfriend had found the spacious and affordable beach house via Airbnb at the last minute, and the rest of us had almost peed ourselves at our luck. We had no clue what really lay beneath. Entering the cabin, the unmistakable stench of mold enveloped us, a pungent reminder of neglect that lingered in the air. It made me gag. It was evident that care and time had abandoned this place. Upstairs, the bedrooms, with their glassless windows overlooking the living room, presented a peculiar arrangement. The furniture, old and crumbling, bore witness to the passage of time. Holes in the walls and spiderwebs covering the windows hinted at a once charming cabin now succumbing to decay. Despite its potential, the reality was too run down to offer any enjoyment. The home was definitely nothing like the photos and descriptions presented online. It was getting late. Hesitant but undeterred, we decided to spend the night unaware of the horrors that awaited us. The following morning brought more of the same along with a creepy twist. Weary, we just couldn't take it and decided to leave. However, we found ourselves in a precarious situation. Our exit was blocked by a neighbor engaged in noisy construction work, trapping us inside. Hours dragged on, each minute adding to the collective nervousness and fear. Inside, the air was not only thick with unpleasant odors, but also a sense of isolation. The musty, damp atmosphere permeated the space, exacerbated by the lack of human activity in the vicinity for many years. But the worst part was the scary sounds coming from somewhere underneath the house. That was the creepy twist. Early in the morning, the terrifying sounds of a woman wailing in distress had begun loudly and abruptly, waking all of us up and immediately throwing us into a state of fight or flight. Someone's life had definitely come to a sad end in this place. The combination of confinement, unpleasant smells, and the mysterious, frightening yelps made the experience too scary for everyone. Our Airbnb escapade, though unsettling, concluded with a successful retrieval of our money and a hurried departure. We never found out the origin of those horrific screams and moans. The trial taught us a crucial lesson about the potential dangers of trusting strangers with our accommodations. Feeling unsafe and vulnerable, we now understand the importance of thorough research before choosing a place to stay. The Murder Death Cabin served as a warning to exercise caution when selecting unfamiliar lodgings. While exploring a vast and rugged landscape, I stumbled upon a quaint Airbnb cabin, offering a much-needed escape from the chaos of everyday life after a pretty rough last quarter for myself, my fiancé, and my 5-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. The air was thick and heavy, and the stillness of the surroundings seemed to accentuate the remote location. No signs of human activity or cell phone reception, and an eerie silence was our unbidden partner. But on the second night, the peace was abruptly shattered by an unexpected and unwelcome visitor. After I had finished giving my daughter a bath, the peaceful ambiance was suddenly shattered by the abrupt opening of the cabin door. Without any warning, the owner of the cabin, a bony ferret-faced man with an eye twitch, walked in, like a silent intruder, into our temporary haven. There was no knock, no courtesy, just an uncomfortable encounter with a stranger who disturbed the solitude that I had been seeking. The owner was in and out of the house and barely apologetic as he fumbled and mumbled around the house, talking about accidentally leaving his prescription sunglasses in one of the kitchen drawers. He left making a lot of noise. We were disturbed and annoyed, but glad to see him go. We had sandwiches and prepared to settle in for the night. As the sun set, the peaceful atmosphere was disturbed by creaks and cracks. But my senses were jolted awake as I heard the unmistakable sound of the front door being unlocked. Wait a minute. Not again. With a sinking feeling, I realized that we were not alone. An unwelcome visitor had made their way into our midst. But I quickly realized that it might not be the owner this time. The person hadn't noted their presence and moved differently, more heavily. My heart raced with panic as I woke up my fiancé. We frantically got up and searched the kitchen for a weapon to defend ourselves. Huddled together in the safety of our one bedroom, we strained our ears to catch any slight movement from the intruder. The sound of their stealthy footsteps echoed through the silence as they explored our cabin, unaware of our presence. Every passing minute felt like an endless torment as I gripped my knife, steeling myself for a potential confrontation. A fleeting shadow darted past the bedroom door, and the doorknob rattled. My heart lurched as I braced myself for the worst. Our eyes briefly locked. As the intruder's eyes widened in the realization that they were not the only ones present, they hastily disappeared into the unforgiving darkness of the night, leaving the door wide open in their escape. We left the cabin immediately. In the following days, haunted by the unnerving encounter, we delved into every possibility. Was it a mere misjudgment, a curious local exploring the vacant cabin, or something more sinister? What or who were they looking for? It wasn't until weeks later, when local authorities investigated the incident, that we learned the unsettling truth. The intruder had a difficult past with the owner of the cabin we were staying in, and he decided to break in without permission. They had a hidden problem with the owner that spilled over into our peaceful retreat. Their unauthorized entry was a malicious act of revenge meant to disturb the peace we were seeking. The revelation we uncovered sent shivers down our spines and added a disturbing layer to our memories of that fatal encounter. Initially, the cabin was a haven of serenity, but it now bore the scars of a hidden vendetta that exposed the dark underbelly lurking beneath the surface. That unsettling feeling persisted and forever remained etched into our memories.